YouTube, what is going on? It's your boy Grizz, and today we are here with early access to Madden 25, in which we are going to be starting our first rebuild of Madden. And it is going to be, I asked my friend, and he picked the Arizona Cardinals, so that's who we're going to be rebuilding. Obviously, the Cardinals are a team that I just don't know how to feel about him. I can't lie to you. I mean, Kyler Murray, he might be all right. I definitely like him as a quarterback. With that cap hit and only being a 77 overall, I assume he would have star development trade. I don't know how to check it anymore. I I just don't know. I don't know if he's the guy. And obviously, I don't think Desmond Ritter's the guy. Oh, here's what is it? Adjust lineup. Is that what we want to be? Yes, there we go. Sorry, it's all new. So Kyler Murray, Desmond Ritter does have star depth trade as well, but I still think we're gonna at least run K1 maybe one season. Might see what we can get for him out of trade. James Conner, definitely want to replace him. We do have this hidden depth trade Benson out here, out of Florida State. We'll probably start him over James Conner. See maybe what the trade market's looking like for James Conner. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a wide receiver one. Zay Jones is going to be a nice compliment, as well as Michael Wilson. So not mad about that. And we also have Dortch down there. Trey McBride is one of the best young tight ends in the league, so we're definitely happy to have that. Paris Johnson Jr. is also a beast. We have this Rook Adams here that we're going to move up because obviously he's hidden depth trait. Defensive side, we have Melton, another hidden depth trait. Buda Baker, who's a guy that they always say they're going to trade, but for some reason they never do. And then aside from that, I mean, Sean Murphy Bunting's all right. But I mean, defense is definitely what we need to focus on. Collins, Thompson, Ojolari. These are guys that are going to be decent for us, but definitely aren't going to be, stars. I mean, a few of them might, but we definitely need to get some stars on that defensive side. Right away, I definitely could see them going out and picking up Justin Simmons to be the free safety, but I mean, I do like Thompson being out there, so I'm not terribly worried about that. But I do think we are going to go out here and sign Connor Williams to be our starting center. That's going to be huge for us, give us some depth at center. And then is there anybody else down here that I like to sign? I mean, Kareem Hunt would be alright, but we don't need. We could use a corner, but no, probably not anything here. And what do we have age-wise? No, not overall-wise. Jerry Jacobs. Cam Akers wouldn't be a bad one, but, Greedy Williams, I wouldn't be mad about that. Yeah, we'll bring him in. I mean, just a little bit of boost there. But right away here, I think we're going to look at maybe some trades, possibly Kyler Murray, possibly Buda Baker. I mean, there's a couple people that we definitely have that we can use for trade bait. Let's see what we can do with that. Wow, that was a lot easier than I expected. We sent our backup center to the Philadelphia Eagles for Bryce Huff because they had him on the trade block. He's a young guy. I believe he started that trade. He's like 25 years old, I believe. And he's got 3 years left on his deal. And he's probably making some decent money. But he might still be on a rookie-ish deal. I mean, 4.35 mil cap hit for a 79 overall star. Don't mind if I do. I will definitely take that. I don't know. I assume the Eagles probably have somebody that's better. But tell me twice to pick something like that up. Kerry Joseph wouldn't be a bad replacement for, obviously not a replacement, wouldn't be a bad guy to bring in for Buda. Let's see what else I want to do here. So right here, we're getting a ton of great offers for Buda Baker. I mean, Puka, Chris Olave, Broderick Jones, Tank Dell, and a bunch of picks. I mean, Tony Pollard, probably not the best. T. Higgins, which would kind of be a little bit more realistic. The Bengals need some defensive players, and T. Higgins is obviously on the block. Actually, would it be a bad idea to pick up T? Or do we go after someone a little younger and pick up like Puka? Or, I mean, Rasheed Rice is here, and a second round pick and a third round pick. We would be beefing up the Chiefs a little bit more, but I don't think that's a bad trade at all. And there's a ton of players here. I mean, Rashawn Gary, we could solidify our defensive line. I don't know. I don't think it's realistic that the Cardinals would make a trade with the Rams because they're in the same division. Chris Olave would be insane, but he's got to be getting close to having a big contract extension. Tank Dell would be a beast. I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on Rasheed Rice because I know he at least progressed nicely last year. I assume it's going to be pretty similar. And then we're actually going to go through and sign that strong safety. I forget who it was that we were looking at. Who was it that we were looking at here? Was it Jamal Adams? I don't think it was. Jamal Adams. Well, we can get Ryan Neal. I'm not opposed to having Jamal Adams. Star dev trait, can instantly fill in there, stealing them from our division rival. Obviously not really stealing them because I cut them, but in real life, probably not a smart move. In Madden, I mean, my injuries are off, so I don't see that being a bad move. So nobody wants James Conner. Okay, I feel like Kyler Murray's gonna perform, but let's just see what's out there. Alright guys, so here at the mid-season mark, I don't know where we see our record at. We are 1-6, so we're terrible. Check out some stats here. Kyler Murray, wow, only 6 passing touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Wow. 5 touchdowns for Benson. Oh my gosh. Terrible all around the board. We've only won one game. I did pick Kansas City's offense. West Coast zone run. But, I mean, this is tough. Who's ready to negotiate? Yeah, we'll see. Okay, can't fully commit right now. Whatever, man. Connor Williams I would like to bring back. I think, obviously, getting that high of a center is not usual. Cool. We got him back. Zaven Collins, 100% wants you back. Let's see. Zay Jones, we'll see how you perform by the end of this. Will Hernandez, 80 overall, still got some good years left on him. Chris Barnes, yeah, we'll bring him back. What else we got down here? Greg Dortch, no. Yeah, we'll bring it back cheap. Kaiser White. No, probably not. We can really focus on the draft there. Alright, let's send to the end and see if we get the #1 pick, because apparently our team is atrocious right now. Wow. So maybe switching to Dallas's playbook was the move, because we finished with a 7-10 record, and if you guys remembered, at the mid-season we'd only had one game. So I mean, I don't know if that's fortunate though, because that pretty much means that we didn't get a high pick. But I mean, could be worse. We had one of the worst offenses in the league and one of the worst defenses in the league. Kyler Murray finished with 3,300 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. That pretty well solidifies us drafting a quarterback. Rushing wise, terrible. Benson 699 and 10 out of a rookie. Could be better. Receiving wise, 929 and 8 out of Rice, 826 and 7 out of McBride, 756 and 2 out of Harrison, and 629 and 2 out of Zay Jones. Wow, didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver, but when he only throw for that little amount of yards, it's kind of expected. Kaiser White had a decent season. We had 13 TFLs out of Bryce Huff and 10 out of Zaven Collins. 9 sacks out of Zaven Collins, 5.5 out of Huff, 4 for Bilal Nichols, 4 for Darius Robinson. Okay, so that's probably going to get Zaven Collins a depth trade upgrade, and with 13 TFLs and 5.5 sacks, probably going to get Bryce Huff one as well. 4 picks out of Sean Murphy Bunting, that might get him a depth trade upgrade. 2 out of Jamal Adams, so we probably want to bring him back. He actually had a pretty solid season. 1 out of Zaven Collins, 1 out of Kaiser White, and 1 out of Jalen Thompson. I don't expect to see any awards here. Obviously, not going to be in the MVP running. Or Coach of the Year. Alright, so NFC Offensive Player of the Year, still no Cardinal there. Defensive Player of the Year, Zaven Collins, I did expect to see that coming in at number 5. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Trey Benson, he did have a decent year for a running back, comes in at number 4. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I don't think we had anybody. I think we did, but they weren't doing anything crazy. So that's that. Obviously, we didn't make the playoffs. We actually got pretty close, which is kind of crazy to me. But we're going to get right to the off season and take off from there and hopefully at least make the playoffs. I mean, we definitely turned it around at the end of the season. Kyler Murray's probably not our guy, but we'll find someone who is. Alright guys, so looking at the roster here, it does look like Benson is just a normal, but I mean, I'm not mad about that one bit. Marvin Harrison is just a star, but McBride goes up to a superstar, which is cool to see. Obviously, the hope is to get Harrison up to that point and Rice. And then on the defensive side, it's very surprising that nobody got a depth trade upgrade. Not even Zaven Collins went up to a star, which is super disappointing in my opinion. But I mean, we didn't have a terrible season. That's what's weird, is we started out terrible, but we ended actually very strong. But I guess we'll kind of see what we can do now. So far here in free agency, we have a big addition to the squad as we pick up Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and we also picked up Terrell Dodson. We're really focusing on that linebacker core because we obviously need it. I think the next thing we're going to do is try to get maybe, I wouldn't mind Jeff Okudah. He typically performs alright in Sim. Let's see if we can pick up Okudah. We got some people down here that want to come play, but they're not people we need. How much money? Well, we have Jamal Adams. He was doing alright, and they're basically the same overall. Let's see, do we have anybody good on defense that we want to come over? BJ Hill would be a much higher overall. Nothing there. Nothing there. Oh man, it's really worth it. Alright, let's see. And we also ended up getting BJ Hill. Okay. And we also got Jeff Okudah. So we picked up one huge star on the defense and 3 very good starters. So that's awesome to see. Let's go ahead and send to the draft and see what we can do there. So with the 12th pick, I think I really hope this guy's a steal. All of his stats really added up. We picked up a quarterback. I already forgot his name. This is definitely way different than last season. I think it's super cool to see some nice animations. His last name is Morrison. He was ranked as the first quarterback in almost everything. He was ranked number 98 in true value and you drafted him at 12. Normal depth trait. Ouch. 91 speed. Might be good. Might. I hope. Let's go ahead and try to trade off Kyler. I did not mean to do this because I didn't expect it to be accepted, but we're sending Kyler Murray over to the Patriots and taking Christian Gonzalez in return. Definitely okay with that. I don't know. Am I okay with that? I hope this quarterback works out. That's all I'm going to say. Alright, so right here. See, who do we have as our fit? Oh, nobody. Alright. I need a defensive tackle. Okay. Tyrese doesn't look terrible. Yeah, Tyrese is probably the best guy. Let's go ahead and take him. Another normal depth trait. Okay. Yeah. Maybe drafting should be a little more difficult this year. I don't know. Round 2, pick 32. Okay. What are we going to do here? Can't really see us taking any of these guys in the hunt. I guess we do need a right tackle. I was just going to look at Colin Patterson. Not good. Not good. Dylan Bone. Not great. Okay, what about a eight? Okay, so he's probably going to be our pick unless there's some insane looking corner. No. Zach Branch, how are you looking? Decent. Oh wait, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to getting another corner, but let's go ahead and take this guy. I think it's right. Yep. Alright, Sydney, stud finder. Okay. Hidden depth trait. Alright, so we finally get our first one. Okay, I'm not mad about that. We're going to go ahead and send to the end of the draft. See if the CPU can draft us some gems down there. And then we'll pick it up in season number 2. Alright guys, so kind of solid. Gabe Morrison, 71 overall. Could be a lot worse. Same thing with our defensive tackle. We have a 71 there. Our hidden depth trait, Sidney Hartwell, is a 68. But the CPU drafted us Leonard Starling, who is normal depth trait. He's a 73 overall, so he will more than likely be usable in some way, shape, or form. And then Dennis Anderson is 72 overall. He's also normal depth trait. So not anything crazy coming out so far. I do want to go through and see how his overall was. Oh my gosh, there was an 82 overall left guard, but then it severely fell off after that. So this definitely wasn't a very strong draft class by any means. But let's go ahead and get into the preseason. Alright guys, so far this season we are 2-5, which we definitely need a quarterback. I think that's probably what's holding us back there, which sucks because Kyler Murray, I don't think he would have gotten the job done. Granted, they were at least winning with Kyler. So, I mean, okay, so right here, Trey McBride, we definitely need to bring you back. Cool. We got Trey McBride on an extension. Same thing with Jalen Thompson, one of our better defensive players. Oh, come on. Okay. What Ritter go. He's young. Cool. Jonah Williams comes back. BJ Hill we probably want back. And obviously we're going to accept our 5th-year options on these guys. How are we looking stat-wise? You know, not bad. His passer rating's terrible, so he's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. But, I mean, that sucks, okay. Rushing-wise, not getting much done there. Receiving-wise, doing, I mean, all right. Okay. Let's go ahead and get to the end of the season, and then hopefully we can compete next year. Well, we didn't have a second half of the season turnaround like we did last year. So we finished 3-14. Luckily, that means that we are the worst in the league. So that, in theory, means that we could possibly have a nice draft pick, which could lead to us, I don't know, maybe getting somebody that's usable. Stat-wise, we finished with the worst offense, basically, and middle of the road defense. Okay. Gabe Morrison, 3,100 yards, 24 touchdowns, 22 picks. Terrible. Rushing, 870 and 8 out of Trey Benson. Okay. 909 and 11 out of Rashee Rice. He had a decent year. 805 out of Michael Wilson. 655 and 1 out of Harrison. And 585 and 3 out of Trey McBride. Not good. We definitely need a QB. TFL-wise, Tyrese Garrison. I believe this is one of our rookies. Had 21 TFLs. That is awesome. Bryce Huff follows it up with 14. And then 10 for Robinson and BJ Hill. 9 sacks out of Zaven Collins. 5.5 out of Huff. 4.5 out of Garrison. 2, 1 and 1. Okay. 3 picks out of Christian Gonzalez. 2 out of Koromoa. 2 out of Jamal Adams. 2 out of Jalen Thompson. Okay. So not bad there, but definitely terrible everywhere else. Offensive Player of the Year. Obviously, I expect the Cardinals to be up there. Neither for Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, or Defensive Rookie of the Year. Oh wait, we're looking at CNFC. Tyrese Garrison does come in at number 2 for Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. And then Gabe Morrison actually did come in at number 5, so he had an alright season. Nothing crazy, but could have been a lot better, that's for sure. So now we're just going to go ahead and sim to the off season and see if we can get some competition going here in the last year. Because as you guys know, all of my rebuilds are 3 years. The goal, obviously, by about the 3rd or 4th rebuild is we might have a little bit of a hang of it, might not, but there's always hope. And then just kind of see what we can do. Alright guys, so far in free agency there really wasn't anything available. We went out and got Ryan Ramczyk to fill in at right tackle, and then we picked up Kenneth Murray Jr. to pair at middle linebacker. That's probably going to be about it. We're going to have to make some huge trades here in the draft, and hopefully just make a big run for it next year. That's always the hope. Alright guys, we're going to be trading round 1, pick 2. To the New York Jets to pick up whoever our quarterback's going to be, his number 1 weapon, in Garrett Wilson. Next, we're going to trade a 2nd and a 3rd to pick up somebody to solidify our linebacker core, and Bobby Okereke. I think that's how you say his name. And then we're just going to go through and get rid of anything that's valuable. Next, we're going to trade a 1st and a 2nd for George Karlaftis. Oh, no, maybe not. They can't afford it, so I saw somebody else in here that I want. Where do you go? Patrick Queen? Yeah, we're going to pull the trigger. Patrick Queen. Now we have probably the best linebacker core in the NFL. And now we just need to solidify our D-line. So let's see what they offer. Alright, now we're trading a 3rd and a 1st round pick from 2028 to the Jets for Jermaine Johnson II. that is obviously going to solidify our good old defensive line. And now I think we really need a quarterback, but I don't know what we can really do about that. We might just be stuck with what we got. But I'll see. Alright, as much as it hurts me to do this, I think Kyler Murray was best for our offense. So we're going to go back through and pick him up for our last season. Kind of crazy, we traded him away, and now we're bringing him right back. But, again, probably our best case scenario is to bring him back and hope that he can lead this team to at least the playoffs. But I'm not really expecting it. But we'll see. Alright guys, so heading into our third and final season, this is what the squad's looking like. Got quite a bit of stars here and there. And Kyler back at quarterback, which is so crazy to me. And then you look at the defensive side, and we have definitely made a huge improvement on the defensive side. But with that being said, the only thing that matters is making the playoffs, to me at least. So I think it's playoffs or bust. Let's see. Alright guys, so at the end of year number 3, we finished with an 11-6 record, which is good enough to get us into the wild card, taking on the Detroit Lions, who have quite a big overall advantage on us. But we made the playoffs, guys. Still finished with a very rock bottom offense, so we definitely need to find a better scheme, but our defense is what got us there. Kyler Murray, 3,500 yards, 22 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, not great. 900 yards and 8 touchdowns out of Trey Benson, which isn't bad. Finally had a 1,000-yard receiver. Garrett Wilson eclipsed 1,000 and 10 touchdowns. 844 and 6 out of Marvin Harrison. It's about time he shows up. 802 and 2 out of Rashee Rice. And McBride didn't catch a single touchdown. Yearly awards here. Obviously, nobody for MVP. We look at NFC Defensive Player of the Year. We had Jermaine Johnson come in at number 3. Okay. Offensive Rookie of the Year, nobody. And Defensive Rookie of the Year, nobody. And I just realized that we didn't look at our defense. So, defensively, Jermaine Johnson with 15 TFLs and 15 and a half sacks. I need to remember him for every rebuild if he's going to put up numbers like that. Same thing if we can find this Tyrese Garrison as not a generated rookie again. Sack-wise, you're getting to the quarterback pretty well. Pick-wise, 2 guys with over 4. And then Elusive Lamoa tagged in 1 more. Okay, so a very solid season out of the defense. Not so much on the offense, but defense wins games, what a lot of people say. Let's upgrade our players a little bit and see if we can take down the Lions. 38 players are upgraded, so people got a big boost. And it actually boosted our overall. Alright. Detroit Lions here. Are we going to win? We do. We beat them. It doesn't say the score. It's kind of weird. It doesn't say the score. I guess we can look at the playoff bracket and see, I'm sure. We beat them 13-10, so it was a very close game. We're going to be taking on the 4th seeded New Orleans Saints here. 9-8. Come on. Come on. Keep her rolling. And that means we lost, right? I think we lost. Yep, unfortunately we did lose to the Saints. We fell 34-24, but we went from rock bottom to at least making the playoffs and getting through 1 round. I think in the next rebuild, maybe we need to focus on our offense a little more, make sure we have a solid quarterback. But with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. At least you made the playoffs. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more Madden content as well as college football. See you guys.